Tina, let me show you something.
Is it My Favorite Singer's new song?
No, it's the video about migrant workers.
What? That'll be boring.
No, you're wrong. You do learn something from the video.
Really? Alright.
Let's start.
Hello everyone. Welcome to Revelation about migrant workers special coverage. I'm the host, David. Before today's program, you'll find that migrant workers are everywhere in our daily life. They are in our society, company, and even in your own home. Here comes a question. What is migrant worker? Migrant workers are the workers who migrate to another country for the purpose of searching for or doing paid work. Here comes another question. Why do they become migrant workers? The reasons are simple. First, there are few employment opportunities in their hometowns. Besides, most of them receive low salaries for their jobs. Second, they have to take the responsibility for supporting their families. In today's program, we are going to identify the problems migrant workers around the world face. What's more, we will focus on our country to investigate if migrant workers in Taiwan encounter the same problems. So today, we have a very special guest, Eve, from the International Migrant Worker Organization to tell us what really happens all over the world. Now, let's welcome Eve.
Hi, I'm Eve. Honestly speaking, there are millions of migrant workers throughout the world, but do you know how they are treated? I will make you acquainted with migrant workers by the following introduction. First, let's talk about the problem both Saudi Arabia's Indian workers and Myanmar workers in Thailand have suffered. Our organization found a video an Indian worker had posted. In the video, it showed that a worker was forced to sign up under documents which deducted $23 every month from his salary. Moreover, a Myanmar worker in Thailand once said $8.58 is a basic salary. However, he often worked overtime but didn't receive a basic salary. In addition to the above examples, let's turn to Kuwait. A female Filipino was missing after she went to Kuwait to seek for work. After 1 year, she was found in an abandoned apartment, hidden in a refrigerator after being raped. Because of the brutal murder, President Duterte, the Philippine president, may need to announce laws to prohibit migrant workers. Without a doubt, the mentioned examples are just the tip of the iceberg, and IMWO will continue to be concerned about the unequal treatment of migrant workers in countries. Please join us to fight for the best rights of international migrant workers in the future. Thank you.
After we know what migrant workers in other countries encounter, it's time to draw your attention to our country and focus on ourselves. Do migrant workers in Taiwan face the same problems? Now, let's move on to our special correspondent to carry out a deeper exploration.
Since 1989, Taiwanese government has laid down the policy to introduce migrant workers because several constructions were setting up, which led to the lack of labor force. Then, in order to solve the problem, manufacturing companies have been allowed to use project application to introduce migrant workers since 1996. Recently, because of the aging society, the need of elder care and caretaker increased significantly. So the problem of labor shortage also involves welfare. Thanks to them, our problems are solved. Nevertheless, the migrant workers who live in their native countries encounter difficult situations in Taiwan. And what can we do to help them? Now, let's make several interviews with migrant workers in Taiwan.
Putih, oke.
Sembilan. Inju. Kim. ini，我是印尼的。
印尼。
我是从印尼来的，东小啊。
我是印尼人。
我是印尼的。
来自印尼，所以你们是都来自印尼。对。You're from Philippines? Yeah, okay.
你是叫不老人家，叫不老人，叫不完吗？我叫不阿婆，
我做工厂，
我工作在公司做那个照顾阿婆嘛，我们在工厂，我们拿干分，caretaker。我在这里4年，5年多，工作差不多5年了。
第10年了。
我工作已经是8年，我也是3年，6 years。没有吧？
没有，
你有吗？
没有啊，从来没有过。
那一定有啊，
有吗？
有关爱。说在这里来工作很辛苦嘛，最好不要想太多。
我是已经习惯在这边，所以没关系。
所以有人这样。
对，就是无所谓了。很好吗？好啊。
好。
很好。还好，也不是说过人生，因为就是政府规定，我们也没有办法。可以的。
有时候我觉得工作太累，钱太少。
可以啊，知道，我知道啊。
知道。
那你有
使用过？
没有用到。对，就是我不有用。
当然知道啊，2016年的时候我记得一起上，那是参加上好像上中文科一起玩一起办活动的呀。
With the interviews, we find out that migrant workers are not treated unfairly as we have seen from news. Among 40 interviewees, only 3 people had suffered from insulting words, and only 1 person saying that his working hours do not correspond to his salary. Moreover, all of them saying they have great relationship with their employers. Why is there a great difference between migrant workers in Taiwan and in other countries, such as Saudi Arabia or Thailand? Is it because the authorities do establish the clear policy on migrant workers in recent years? Or only migrant workers who are treated fairly have the right to go out and take a rest? Of course, we hope the answer is the former. But if it's the latter, what can we do to help them get a real fair treatment? I'm Doris, Revelation about migrant workers in Taipei train station.
Before the end of today's program, we conclude the common problems that migrant workers are facing now: low incomes, discrimination, and deprivation of rights. We hope to make more people to get to know migrant workers and face up to these long overdue problems. Also, we expect to stop discrimination by education. Expect all of us can take the issue seriously and raise their position in everyone's mind. Thank you for watching. I'm David. This is Revelation about migrant workers special coverage. See you next time.
Watching the video, right?
You can say that again. And it strikes me that the reason why they have top lips here has something to do with social stereotypes, like suspecting they will steal other people's things, which has a negative impact on the social security. What's more, there is no sound legal system having been set up in Taiwan to protect their rights for work. It is supposed that migrant workers could live in better lives.
Furthermore, we can adopt some policies from foreign countries. For example, last year, Japanese government took a series of measures to help migrant workers adjust to the Japanese lifestyle, such as helping them learn Japanese and signing bilateral agreement to share the information. Does Taiwan also have some good policies?
I do remember some from the textbook. First of all, Ministry of Labor lets migrant workers have the right to judge employers freely and make sure their working rights of national treatment. Establishing a new hotline for migrant workers and holding activities of counseling. The last one is adaptation and social integration. After knowing these policies, I am curious about what we can do.
I think what we can do is not to have a bias against them. I hope we can have more empathy for them, show our concern, and try to understand them. What do you think?
I agree with you. And my aunt just told me her experience. She volunteered for 140.
140?
140 is a social organization. It reveals migrant workers' difficulties and needs through the internet. Holding events regularly in public and make people understand migrant workers in interesting ways. They even established 140 School, which opens Chinese and business classes for migrant workers to let them find better jobs, so they can achieve economic independence both in Taiwan and in their hometowns.
Speaking of social group, I remember that the teacher have introduced a non-government organization called Taiwan International Workers Association. Its aim is to increase labor classes' equity welfare. They are mainly committed to 3 goals: to make the government and the public pay attention to them, and provide help for migrant workers when they encounter difficulties. Also, they arrange Chinese classes 2 times a week to help them adapt to their lives in Taiwan. The next class is about to start, so how is it? Is it as boring as you see?
Not at all. I have learned so many new things. With the video and our explanation, you guys indeed have learned something. With the aid of our presentation, we hope we can sow the seeds of drawing your attention to migrant workers and further ask yourself, how do you treat migrant workers? Do you think that you do not discriminate against them, but you still detour to avoid them unconsciously? After our presentation, maybe you can rethink your attitude toward migrant workers in the future.
The class starts, let's go!